Welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Rob Lewis. Today we're going to take a look at the Arctic Wildcat. This is one that everybody's been anticipating that's in the OHV, or the off-highway vehicle side-by-side world. A very extreme performance machine. And I'll tell you what, this thing stands out in so many different ways, but what is key with the Wildcat is the chassis and the suspension. It has really been designed and tuned for off-road racing and extreme performance in deep bumps. If you want to come a little closer, we'll take a look and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the chassis. Right straight from the Baja. In the Baja world, they find out what punishment a vehicle can take and what you have to do to reinforce things to hold the suspension, the motor, the drivetrain, whatnot. The exoskeleton chassis, you can see it's all tubular construction, and just know that the exoskeleton chassis is the strongest in the industry to protect you in a situation that may be where you need to rely on that roll cage. What really sets the Wildcat apart from the rest of the industry side-by-sides is suspension, suspension, suspension. It has 17 inches of wheel travel in the front end, 18 inches of wheel travel in the back end, all of it totally tunable. Like I said, the car is designed to go Baja style racing. Just imagine this great big old donut here happen to fly up in the air, come back down, and all of it be controlled within 18 inches. This thing running 50, 60, 70 miles an hour through some whoops. It really has to be designed to be able to take that kind of abuse. Plus you have to be able to tune it to the kind of riding or kind of abuse that you want to put it through. So what we've done is teamed up with Walker Evans. And with Walker Evans, he's a legend in off-road racing. He's a high-end shock builder. 16 positions on the clickers for dampening, so you can control how fast the shock and how much pressure it takes to make the vehicle absorb the bump. Also dual rate springs, top spring and a bottom spring both have separate rates. The top one controls the ride height, and the bottom spring will compress at different rates so that you have a nice soft ride at slow speeds, but on high speeds at big impact it'll absorb those as well. And the front suspension, as I mentioned, 17 inches of wheel travel there, and it has the same adjustments. It has the same clickers, it has the same dual rate springs, the same things that you can adjust. The real magic, however, in the back end, to be able to control 18 inches of wheel travel, you want to be able to keep your tires perfectly in line, not turning, twisting like this, because that would remove the contact patch of the tire and reduce traction, as well as it would create handling problems. This will go through the full 18 inches of travel with the tire in line with maximum tire patch. And we've done that through 5-link rear suspension. That's the industry's first. The top link is 1 link. You have a swing arm in the bottom for 2 links. Then you have 3 lateral rods to keep everything in line. You have 1, 2, 3, so a total of 5 links for the rear suspension. While I'm back here, I've got to mention the cargo area. 300-pound capacity, and this thing is absolutely huge. You can put a full-size ice chest in here, you can put all kinds of cargo, whatever you wanted. The nice thing too is it has corner hooks, all 4 corners, so you can run your bungee cords over your cargo and keep it nice and secure. I noticed a gas cap here, so that changed my train of thought. With 9 gallons of fuel, you don't have to worry about packing fuel, you can go all day long. Well, this thing also has 13 inches of ground clearance, so you can go over all the obstacles, but you sit 5 inches lower in this chassis than you do the competitive product. So that gives you the feel of being in it, part of it. You become part of the machine, and it just gives you total security when you're driving it. So you got to be asking yourself, what powers the Wildcat? Well, here it is right here. It says right on the side, 1000 cc's V-twin HO. What does HO stand for? Everybody knows. High output. What did Arctic do to make it high output? They added 50mm throttle bodies, 2-into-1 larger diameter exhaust systems that are ceramic coated. They've also added a different air intake system, really pumped up the power. In addition to that, pumped up the stator. So the stator has the power output to light up any light bar that you put on it, any accessory that you want to mount to the cage, you can power it up. The Wildcat is the only OHV full sport side-by-side vehicle in the industry with power steering. This separates it from the rest of the group out there. It's not just power assist power steering, it's very intelligent power steering. It has wheel sensors, it has steering wheel input sensors, it has speed and RPM sensors. So whatever you're doing, it's going to be using these sensors to determine how much assist that you have. If you're going fast, it's going to pull back assist, so you feel like you're in contact with the trail at all times. If you're going slower, say rock crawling, it will increase the assist, so it's going to make it nice and easy to steer to negotiate the terrain that you're in. Now I'm going to go back to 17 inches wheel travel on the front end a little bit, because you think 17 inches moving through the full range on the front end, you got to think of one thing. You got to think of bump steer. This car is capable of extreme high speeds. So if you're going very fast, you're going through very bumpy terrain, the last thing you want is bump steers. That means the tire's kicking in and out, back and forth like that. If it does that, you're going to lose control. So the Wildcat has got some incredible engineering, making sure it's got very short arms or throws on the power steering, and the tie rod is also at the same angle as your A-arm. So as the wheel goes up and down through the travel, then it doesn't kick your tires in and out, so you don't have bump steer, keeps you in total control regardless of your speed. Another nice feature on the Wildcat is the paint. Automotive finish, absolutely beautiful. Metallic paint, comes in 2 different colors, comes in black, comes in this beautiful apple green color. So when you've been out in the desert, you got the car dirty, you've been in the mud, you got it all muddy, whatever, you can come home, you can wash it off, you can dust it, you can wax it, you can keep it looking nice. Now with a high-end vehicle like this and all the high-speed travel we've been talking about and the extreme terrain, one of the most important things you want to do is be secure. You want to be secure with your seatbelt harnesses. Also with the Wildcat, has a nice door that you can open, latch in place very securely. It keeps, with this netting on it, it helps keep all of your limbs inside the vehicle. Well, we've gone over everything at the Wildcat, from the suspension to the exoskeleton chassis, to the cargo, to the seats, to the being part of it. You could talk all day long with all this high-end stuff. The only way to truly understand and appreciate just how good and how extreme this car is to go ride it. So I say, let's go ride it. What do you think? Your first reaction is when you head for the bumps, you want to let off the gas and go for the brake because they just look too big to negotiate. But in short order, you gain extreme confidence in the car. You start driving faster and faster. Before you know it, you're running the thing hammered down. You're doing 50, 60, 70 miles an hour through some of the bumps. It's unbelievable how that suspension, it reaches out, it reaches to the full extension of its full travel and just waits for the ground to come back in contact. And when it does, it just sucks it up and gives you a nice, easy landing. It's absolutely incredible. Well, I hope you've enjoyed looking at the Wildcat with us today. It's been a lot of fun shooting it. For more information, you can go to Wildcat1000, use the dealer locator, and you'll be able to find the dealer that carries a Wildcat closest to you. For At Your Leisure, I'm Rob Lewis. We'll see you next time on the next product review.